Yeah. It feels more like Thailand when it's sticky and moist.
Yeah.
Like sticky in there.
This feels like Oklahoma to me. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's
Yeah.
humid and hot. And
All right.
Oklahoma.
So
You are?
from
You are. Yeah.
So from the stretch, right? So to clarify, because already there were questions about this, I did demonstrate putting your breasts on their foot. That was the demonstration of what not to do.
Yeah, you just do it's lean.
I mean, you can do it, just charge enough. All right.
Just kidding. Video.
No, I'm dead serious. Somehow I've kept my job all these years. All right. It is adulted program. Okay. All right. So from here, so again, the reason I do this is I could use my sternum just to be fair, right? That's not a problem. But again, some feet have tar. There's so many different variables, and this way where my hands are a buffer and I'm using my body weight to stretch is universally applicable. That's why I'm doing it. Everything else aside. So now we're going into quad stretch. So first thing is we're going to start with just gently starting and getting first pass at it. So this is Jessica's sort of end range, right? She's pretty close to full flexion here. Just take a breath or two here. Then I'm going to go up a little and I'm going to include the foot. So I'm plantar flexing the foot but not the toes yet. Feels good? Awesome. So, and look how we got a little deeper. And we're including more of that fascial continuity by including the foot in plantar flexion, and then I'm going to include the toes. So it deepens the stretch, but it also includes more of the fascia. She's nervously giggling.
Yeah. I'm not flexible.
That's
weird, but it's good.
Yeah. So one thing I'm feeling for is that I'm not, so again, this is meant to be a quad stretch, but the rectus femoris does attach on the pelvis, so it could be torquing the pelvis technically. So I want to go slowly into this and really empathize with what it must feel like for her. And with practice, of course, we get good at that. Okay. So then we're going to go to hip flexor stretch. So I turn to the side like this, and so this is not traditional Thai in Thailand. They do a version of it's a lot harder work. So this is a modification to make it really easy. So by elevating her knee, if her pelvis can release towards the table, she's getting a hip flexor stretch, right? Because we're now crossing that pelvic barrier. But that's with the leg in neutral. So just my compressing your pelvis with the leg neutral, meaning that this is not flexed, by taking her pelvis towards the floor, she's getting a hip flexor stretch. So that's now iliacus, psoas, and still rectus femoris. But if I wanted to include the other three quads, then what I'm going to do is include knee flexion. Yeah, ooh, yeah, that's very empathetic. That's the feeling, right? So what I actually would do is, and she's quite flexible here, is I'm actually going to do this. Rather than have it be totally neutral, why not find like her natural end range, and then from there, that way she's just getting both. So it's a hybrid. Technically, that's just hip flexors. Now we're doing quads and hip flexors, right? So this is what we were talking about. So this is the hybridization. But you need to go slowly and finesse because it's intense. Is that okay? Good. Then take their knee and bring it out into tree pose. And then I call it hip points, but what I'm actually going to do is, so we already compressed glute max attachment along the sacrum. So now I want to get all of the attachments along the trochanter. So that's going to be glute minimus, medius, and the 6 lateral rotators. So it can be a broader forearm like that, or it can be a pointier elbow. Either way is fine. But I'm just feeling for the trochanter, just like when you're going along the spine, you're feeling for the spinous processes. Here I want part of my elbow to be right in connection with the trochanter. So I'm just feeling my way around. Let's pause there. Let me show you that one more time. So 3 versions of this quad stretch, right? One that does not include the foot, one that includes the foot but no toes, one that includes all of it. Turn, prop them up on your knee. Start with this neutral, right? Just make sure there's slack on the quads and just take the pelvis towards the table. Then back off completely, find the tone there, and then do it again. And as the body's releasing, you can, like if I just put the weight of my hand here, I don't have to actually press, but just the weight of my hand will encourage more length. Tree pose with elbow circling around the trochanter.
How's that feel, Jessica?
All right. Let's